Hi, I'm Carrie Blazer. Thank you for clicking on my clip. I have a free ebook linked below, my 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies. They will help you transform your emotional wounds into personal wisdom. And I take a multidisciplinary approach. There's something there for everyone because what I learned is when something's true, it's true in multiple places. Please like and subscribe and help me distribute my ebook to everyone for free by exploding my channel. Take care. Enjoy the clip. Okay, we're at Carl Jung's best DIY trauma healing technique. So please take a second, grab your journal, grab your pen and your mirror or your phone. And what I want you to do is just look at yourself. And I just saw a video the other day of someone who decided to detransition because when they spent time looking at themselves in the mirror, they saw their biological gender and not the one they had assumed. And then they changed. So Carl Jung would use this because talking gets in the way. And this is, you just remove the talking and it's just straight look at yourself and see what your brain tells you is what's going on or what your heart tells you what's going on. And if you hear things about other people, redirect all of that back to yourself. Because you might be able to hear it based on someone else, but have a harder time hearing that about yourself. So your soul shows it to you in someone else as a kind of roundabout way for you to get into that wound yourself. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Alrighty. Now, based on what you just saw in yourself, you can use that while I go over the 6 Divine Feminine Self-Love Strategies, and you can see how to start applying what you just saw in the mirror to transforming your emotional wounds into personal wisdom. And this is not a belief system, it's a soul operation system to create emotional safety, self-orientation, inner authority, an internal locus of control and not an external locus of control. Wisdom extraction, energetic movement, nervous system integration, and together they recalibrate the nervous system and expand your emotional range. So the first one, appreciate, learn, forgive equals ego death. So appreciation, there's the feminine. That's the emotion that opens the heart, that reduces stress, reduces cortisol. Then the learning, there's the masculine, there's the analysis. So once I was grateful for my suicide attempt, then I could ask myself, why was my suicide attempt necessary in my life? What can I learn about myself? And even through writing my book, I learned that was what, 5 years later, that I was learning about myself, and we're all writing the book and accepting things about myself, and I stopped the projecting. And then when once I processed my wound into wisdom, like turning fear all men into men protect me, forgiveness of self and others just naturally happens. I don't have to work on the forgiveness. It's like a natural process. But what's important here to create wholeness is to engage both the feminine, the communication, or here the gratitude, the appreciation, the emotion of it, and then engage the masculine, the learning of it. So for example, the most testosterone increasing, cortisol reducing activity for men is chopping wood. Now, if they add in screaming their emotional pain, that creates wholeness. There's the masculine and the feminine together. And as the Lakota star feeding exercise shows us through the Johns Hopkins research, is that when you engage both the feminine and the masculine to create wholeness, you'll process your trauma 6 times faster than talk therapy alone. The second one is the love hierarchy. We already went over that. So here's how, when you practice a love hierarchy, you will always have overflow to pour on other people, creating a healthy relationship with self and others. This is why you start with self-love, then partner love, then child love. Because when you prioritize yourself and then your partner, the children are always in a safe home environment because the adults in that environment are emotionally mature, well-regulated adults, then family, and then community. What I see a lot happening today is we're teaching kids to go be social activists, to put the community before themselves. And I'll leave you this question, is that appropriate? Is adults having a right to children, like teaching 5-year-olds to go protest ICE, is that healthy? Or do children have a right to healthy adults? Which way creates a healthy society? And I'll leave you with that question. So number 3, learn to surf the waves of life. Life is like jumping on a trampoline. The deeper you go, the higher you fly, all based on the laws of physics. And we're going to get into a physics experiment here in a second. The depth of the wound determines the height of the wisdom. Like for me, I visited Mount Everest, and I had to learn that if I want Mount Everest-sized wisdom, then I had to take on Mount Everest-sized wounds. Our souls plan our lives based on our wounds for self-improvement opportunities. So here's a physics experiment that shows why you have to surrender to your emotions and then come out of it, and why that propels you through life. If this resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more conversations about psychology, healing, and the divine feminine, and pick up a free copy of my ebook below. Take care.